Hello, I am Animalz, your caster, and I am casting some random VLC match between these guys, US players, and these guys, more US players. It's 2 healer versus 2 tank. And Herald. I think most people know who these guys are. Most US people know who these guys are, so I'm just gonna fucking hit space. Yeah. Mad or Dank spaces in, goes for a stun, Shadow blocks it, Blink spacing in, trances back on Foda, Dank spaces in again, Foda spaces towards him, gets Runic, that's Dank that is, uses shield, Stalagmites Loda, or Foda, watching too much Alliance. Space on the Foda, he lands his trance, has an ult, but it gets stunned up, very quick use of that ult by Foda, but ends up not paying off at all. Shadow has his ult though, Soothing Melody gets locked up, but he pops his ult, doesn't get any amps though. Yeah, misses his amp, getting Runic Beam, blocked on his Aegis, dies, 2-man ult from Sky, not sure where he was all game. No doubt trying to kill Mad a little bit, he was pretty low, but not quite low enough. Dank kills Sky through stealth with his ultimate. That's going to be fast round 1. Pretty chaotic round, but DankBud definitely in control of it. And actually Skywin I'm surprised to see on the bottom because he did get an ult, but he got it pretty slow. It looks like he's lagging as well. If I'm not mistaken, he always has about 40 MS, so this is probably uncomfortable for him. But anyway, round 2 begins. Sky should be fine. Gets hit by an M1. Jukes back with his stealth onto Dank. He also gets spaced on, but no amp. Nice reflect by madviillain blocking the amp there. Foda is given shield, spaces away, gets spaced on by Blank. Stalagmite misses. Blank is in a bit of trouble, but gets stone shielded, so he's pretty okay. Nice meteor onto Foda right there. Sky farmed an ult, meanwhile. Looks like he got it from the rune. And Mad, but actually Foda's pretty low. Use the Aegis. 2-man ult coming out from Sky, and this is going to put a lot of pressure. Blank had Runic though, and Mad just spaces his, and Blank just pops his ult, so he's pretty fine. But the ult didn't actually do it too much. Stalagmite misses. 2-man ult coming out from Shadow. 2-man amp as well. This should be the end of Mad here. Yeah, he does tick down to the Wisp and the Blow Darts with the amp on top of it all. Skywin sprinting and stealthing, moving really fast over to Blink. And round 2 going the way of Worm Team. Well played by them. And you could see Foda already with another ult, and these two with more ults on the way. It's pretty much how this comp works, but Cold Team's comp is pretty much created to counter this team. So Space Stalagmite, Stone Shield by DankBud. Granite Stun gets blocked up. Foda gets a triple amp. Doesn't lose too much HP though, but look at the energy on Blink Out right there. Sky wanting to get the rune, does get the rune, but no Blade Flurry. But actually, Blank tries to trance anyway, gets stun shielded, has Runic. Space onto Foda, who's actually behind enemy lines, doesn't get hit, doesn't land his trance, but does have EX space, so spaces away, but gets meat bolted. Spaced on, he has a space and a shield, so he should be okay. But Runic Beam, no, he's not okay. He really should have spaced. Sky had farmed up an ult, meat bolt onto Shadow Lords. It's possible for this 2v2 team, but actually no. Only one person hit with an ult, with the Skywin ult, the random ult. And Shadow Lords misses his ult too. I'm gonna say that's kind of the end of this round. No way. The Cold Team just has too many shields. They have 2 shields for their healer and 2 tanks with full HP. That's just too much damage for even the best players to break through. It's kind of, it'd be Cold Team's throw at that point. But well played by Cold. Foda getting in some hot situations. Normally he's pretty good in them, but kind of gets called out on that one. Fear onto Sky, nice prediction by Mad. Sending it across the map and still lands it. No amps coming through because of that Chronoflux. Madviillain is actually insane, by the way. He deserves way more props than he gets, I'd say. But Blank actually stole the rune. EX space onto 2. Dank spaces in, no stun so far, no chance on Foda. Moonstone and ran it onto DankBud, trying to get some damage onto Foda. Sky is completely fine, and actually this healing beam is really good for Worm right here. One man ult onto BlankOut, he spaces it, but I think it did hit Dank, but he's still at full, or didn't lose any real HP. Nice chrono by Mad, but he's getting stunned up by Sky. Sky's losing a lot of HP. EX Fear by Mad, but he has his ult soon, and that's all he really needs Durant to do, but he only gets a 1-man. But actually, Mad's in kind of a lot of trouble. If he gets Amp here, and he does, he's just going to die. He had no space, didn't have enough energy for a time, what is it called? Time ref? Let me see. Oh shit, I couldn't see it fast enough. Madvillain saying damn. Shadow Lords actually shot his M1 into the Chronoflux, but it faded before it casted the Reflect, so that was actually really nice. As soon as the Chrono was over, Mad got hit by the M1, and the Amp just killed him with the Ranid ult. Stalagmite missing, space out by DankBud. He's gonna get amped up, uses his R, spaces away from Foda, so doesn't take too much damage. Foda has his chance and weakens Dank, but Dank doesn't fall for the hit, and Foda just loses half his HP, maybe even more. Yes, almost down to 10% real HP, spacing backwards, being pursued out by BlankOut and DankBud coming in, hitting the trance, misses Meeple, 2-man Amp from Shadow, but Foda is still incredibly low. Runic Beam gonna miss, but the Dryad Aegis and Aegis of Gurgan, wait, is that what it's called? Aegis of Gurgan, yeah. We're stacked. Anyway, Foda EX spacing away behind the pillar. 2-man ult coming up from Sky, who's at 100% HP by the way. Blank in a lot of trouble. And surprisingly enough, Foda, with how much trouble he was at the beginning of that round, and it's really been him in trouble all the time. He just buys enough time for Sky and Shadow to do their things. In all honesty. They're orchestrated enough to say that it's one thing that they do, which is win fucking rounds with the Dryad Ranid ult combos. Yeah, Sky went at 100% HP throughout that entire round. They might want to focus him a little bit more, at least bloody his nose, get him off of their Herald. Stalagmite and Stun hit Skywin, but his space kind of bugs him out, and he doesn't get stunned on his space at all. He just takes the full damage, gets hit up by 3 M1s as well. That's exactly what they needed to do. But he does space onto the rune. Blank tries to get it, gets stunned up by Sky, and actually Sky has a lot of energy. He's also getting Dryad Shield so that he can really farm up this ult right here. But Foda, he also didn't get the Dryad Shield. Sky's going to try to get an ult, but he actually gets luck on his Frog Leap. He can Venom Lunge. He does get 2. Gonna get ulted, or madviillain gonna get ulted up, who I believe has his space. He does. Lock on Skywin's lunge, but he will stun up Blank. Sky has Dryad Shield, it's over. Meeple on Foda, who actually I wasn't paying attention, spaced over the wall. DankBud pursued him and killed him with a Meeple, I believe. A Stalagmite Meeple, maybe. But it looks like the strategy really is just buy time for DankBud to kill Foda. I wasn't watching him at all that round because of what was really going on with the Skywin, but it's half and half. That was a really nice runic beam though, I have to say, by BlankOut. He's been landing good ones. I should say a little story about him. He used to be an insane Seeker player, by the way, before everybody really knew how OP Seeker was, or still is actually. But he kind of used to be one of the pioneers of it, I guess, at least of the US scene. But he's also an insane inhibitor player. But when he came back, I remember him playing a lot of inhibitor, never using the EX space, never using the runic beam. Now, I only play with him in in-houses and like maybe tournaments sometimes, play against them in tournaments and stuff. But so I don't know if like he was just not doing it because it's practice or whatever, but it's really good to see him really dishing it out, the EXs, because inhibitor EXs plus his medallions is just insane. Stun onto DankBud, no amp though due to the Chronoflex. Wuju and Space kind of miss from Blank. He does get an M1 onto Sky between stuns. Nice call on that Stone Shield by Dank. Deals some damage to Sky. Foda is actually incredibly low. Meteor missing Sky when he spaces back. Foda two stacks of amp on him in a What is it called? Chrono Flux? No, sorry. It's called Temporal Lockdown. Sorry. Temporal Lockdown comes up, but it doesn't really hit anyone anyway. EX Space coming out and a Runic Beam onto a photo. It causes him to use his trance. No Stalagmite landing though. Two ults coming out right now from Skywind and Shadowlords. Both hitting on two players. DankBud doesn't take too much damage. Madvillain's taking some damage, but actually, Photo once again kind of left out the drive. Blank0ut's the one to take him out there. And even though Shadow has huge TPS, his Astro has not been getting ults. He did die with an ult this time. Not to say, well, they're not out right now. Two-man ult, weaken up the Sky. Shadow misses his ult on Mad. Mad spaces the Ranid ult and everything. Shadow might not, should not have gone for that ult, I think. He may have knocked DankBud out of place, but it's going to be really hard for them to play it back. That was an EX lunge and a really nice weaken on that EX lunge by madvillain there. Weakening Skywind as soon as he finished the lunge, but it's not gonna or sorry, it's not gonna be enough for Skywind. It was enough for madvillain, obviously, more than enough. Talking to each other over here. Didn't really read it, sorry. But stun onto DankBud once again. Chrono and stun shield. Fear onto Sky, pushing him back. He gets stunned. Given Aegis trance out by Blank. Stalagmite lands on his stealth brand, and he actually tries to lunge for Blank because he has no trance, but it's not enough. Sky kind of scrambling over here. We got an amp onto Dank. A Dryad ult hits Blink's trance, and DankBud's stone shield doesn't do too much. Temporal Lockdown coming out, doesn't hit anyone except for Photo, who does have his own ult. He's popping it onto madvillain, who's so low right now but doesn't go down. Fear lands onto Skywind, so Sky couldn't finish him off either, and Skywind's trying to pursue him while Blink and DankBud try to pursue out Shadowlords, EX Meat Bolt going out. Stalagmite and another M1 to the back. I'm sure Shadowlords had 3 stacks of amp on him as well from Dank, and Photo's gonna try to go for Blank here. Even lands his trance, but Blank is actually doing the smart thing, weakening Photo, and it looks like an EX bolt comes out from madvillain. What is that called? Chrono Bolt. Of course it is. And stun onto DankBud. Madvillain spaces behind Sky. Sky has a chance of getting a kill here, but Sky can't even, if Sky kills both of these other players, DankBud won't lose the 1v1. I've 1v1 the Glutton as Ranid. It's incredibly hard. The Glutton just regens much better than you, and uses his energy much better than you. And that's the end of that game. Goes 3-5 in the favor of Cold Team. So I hope you enjoyed the cast or whatever I'm supposed to say. Well played by Cold. Nicely played by Worm still. You could definitely see their skill there, but I think it's kind of funny because it's kind of the case of the wolf on the hill versus the wolf climbing the hill. The wolf climbing the hill is hungrier because the wolf on the hill is already so fat and, you know, eating so much already. I think Cold really like outshined Worm here. They didn't say, oh well, it's scary, it's the scary team, the Photo Skywind Shadowlords Astro Ranid Dryad team where they just all ult you at the same time and they farm their ults all really fast by like 20 to 30 seconds generally into a round. They all already have ults. They kind of handled it well, but I have to say madvillain, it's really madvillain, right? He had perfect chronos, really good fears as well. I'm sure his weekends were insane, and you should see his ults. His ults didn't really shine through here, but he is actually really good at ulting. I'm actually pretty happy that we do have one Herald mainer on US, but yeah, well played by them. The chronos for sure though. Stopping the Dryad amps, I think maybe Alchemist would have been better here because it dispels Alchemist for Shadowlords, that is. It dispels the runic shield. Ooh, I didn't know I could do that. Oh, cool. Why didn't I know that I could do that? It dispels the it dispels this off of everyone as well, which is really important. Mantra is so OP, man. It doesn't dispel Chronoflux though, which, I mean, that'd actually be pretty interesting. I remember somebody thinking that it was weird that it didn't. I never thought it was weird that it didn't, but when somebody told me that, I thought, that is actually kind of interesting. The thing is here though, for me, is the last thing with the Alk over Dryad is the dispelling of these two as well. You can get rid of the amps and the weekends and stuff. Anyway, still well played by both teams. I also think I should say I think Worm Team is better than what they showed here, and that's actually kind of saying something because I still think the rounds that they were winning, they were doing really well. But that's it for this game. I guess I should come up with something to say at the end. I'm kind of blanking here, but I don't know. GG. Thanks for watching.